Hello everyone and welcome back to Good Society. We're back after quite a long setup and doing backstory and stuff for our characters, our major characters and connections, but well worth because now we have the world of our stuff. My name is Fiona, I run What Am I Rolling? We won't go into too much detail because we do that any old time really, but I'm here being the facilitator for Good Society. We're going to go round, just introduce our characters again, who's playing them, the characters you're playing, the different roles and the background and stuff like that, and anything of note that we should know about essentially, and then we'll go through and do the relationships going around again as well, just so that we know. I'm going to start over here.
Fantastic. Hello, my name is Face, and today I am going to be playing Wesley Reagan. Mm-hmm. He is the meddler in terms of this, but he is a solicitor coming from fairly new money. His parents made a lot of money in the recent substantial wealth out of the industrial age that has just occurred.
Of course.
And so Wesley is a solicitor from London. He has an old friend in Sir Fabian, who you'll meet shortly, but things aren't going quite according to plan. And he has also a good friendship with Lydia, who you'll be meeting in a second. My companion character, so the character that's effectively been chosen by random decks and us bidding for them, I am also playing Sir Fabian Braithwaite II, also known as Edwin, which is his middle name, who is the imposing army colonel, and that is the father of Sir Fabian, who yet again you'll be meeting shortly. Hope you've been making notes.
And just for the sake of it, what is your background and what is your playbook, the sort of character role that you've got?
The meddler, as I said, there's a character role, and the background is new money.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
And all of the people just mentioned, so myself, Wesley, and Edwin go by he, him pronouns.
Fantastic, thank you very much. I'll pass it on.
Hello, my name is Emily. I'm playing Hyacinth Northbury. She is the new arrival and her family is foreign. For this, foreign means she grew up here, she made some friends, we'll hear more about that later. She moved away, spent most of her formative years elsewhere, but then her parents tragically passed away. So she has returned, and she is now living with her cousin and her aunt, who you will meet later. But yeah, for now, that's what she's up to. I'm also playing Dennis Cook, who is the extravagant best friend of Lydia.
Brilliant, thank you. And what pronouns do
Hyacinth and myself have she, her pronouns. Dennis uses he, him pronouns.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Pass it over.
Hi, I'm Will, pronouns he, him. I am playing Sir Fabian Braithwaite III of Newton. He is of character of, he's the heir. He is heir presumptive to the Duchy of Newton. He is old money. He has a one-time friend in Wesley Reagan Esquire. But he's intrigued to see his friend of old, Hyacinth Northbury, who is not seen for about 10, 12 years, something like that, was it? Yes.
We've written letters.
And pen pals, here and there. I will also be playing the companion character of Beatrice Northbury, who is the cousin of Hyacinth, who's a silly goose.
If you can keep that voice up.
I intend to.
Just don't mix them up.
I'll try not to, no.
I might have to borrow your hat so I can take it off for you.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I feel like it's based on someone we know, is it? No.
Possibly. I couldn't possibly comment.
Okay.
Comment below who you think
it
might
is.
be.
Yeah. So I am Jacinta. I will be playing Lydia Jones, who is a hedonist of humble origins, which doesn't work that well in terms of money, in terms of resources.
A wannabe hedonist, let's be honest.
I say it's rather in the way of like with Nell and I, like as soon as she makes any money, she spends it again on a party or something.
Yeah.
She's also a piano teacher to a mentor / piano teacher to the lovely Hyacinth.
I've almost managed to hit an H note.
We've gone over scales. We've gone over Yeah, you're doing very well.
I keep going all the way up to G, and then you tell me to start over. Someday I'll keep going.
The worst thing is, it starts on a C.
I did meet Wesley Reagan, Mr. Reagan, at a party in the social season 3 years ago. So yes, we do know each other rather well. That's her. And I'm also playing Mortimer, the awkward horticulturist, who is a cousin again of Wesley Reagan. My pronouns and Lydia's pronouns are she, her, and Mortimer's pronouns are he, him.
Fantastic, thank you.
It is worth noting at this point that the two real-life couples have no connections at all. None of my characters have a connection to Emily's characters, and the same for the other table.
We'll see what
So,
happens.
Just you wait. I have plans.
so that was beautifully and totally randomly done.
It's like, we love each other. Now we must never speak in any role-playing game ever.
I need you to woo me.
Welcome to Valentines Day.
Welcome to
Play with your other
Valentine's.
half, but secretly look longingly across the table at somebody else. And we all just look at Fee.
Control yourselves, please. And I'm playing everyone else. So we created, for each major character, we created 2 connections, and everyone took really exciting characters, and I've been left with Francis, who is the younger sibling of Wesley. We've got Anastasia, who's the younger sibling of Lydia. We've got Melissa, who's the younger sister of Sir Fabian. And then we have the aunt of
I'm
Abigail.
sorry, I didn't have a younger sister.
Yeah, what a shame.
So what are their character voices, Fee?
I'm so glad you asked. So going from the siblings to the aunt, we've got hello, 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 hello. We will develop it on that way. But one thing I say, so the reason why we have these connections is so that we can create really engaging scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the connections are supposed to disrupt and complicate the lives of the major characters, but it also means that you're not going to have necessarily a scene where you're talking to yourself. Because most of us are GMs here, or have played or run facilitated stuff where you've had to speak for long periods of time, and it can get a little bit tiresome, or you run out of things to say because it's not necessarily a collaborative story in that element. So one thing I would say as well is that should you be like, Mortimer meets Lydia and we're talking away, any one of us could be like, I can play them for that scene, etc.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be me, the facilitator, in that front. So anyone can also feel free to be like, I want to play Abigail the aunt, and I'll be like, but no one plays the siblings because I've nailed down the voice.
Yeah. No one will do the voices as well as you.
It's fine, yeah.
You've locked that in.
I know.
We have locked that in. So I'm going to go over the main mechanic for this game. As you've noticed, there's no dice on the table. I know. Shock, horror in that front. So this is uses a token mechanic, essentially. They're called resolve tokens, and for this game we've got them here as yellow tokens, and hopefully they'll show up a little bit. They're a little bit small. But basically, these resolve tokens are, she says, trying to look at every player has the ability to shape the story however they want, but to do so they must abide by the game's rules, pretty much like Regency Society is. So if you want to shape the story in some way, you simply say what happens, and then you need to spend a resolve token on this. Both I have resolve tokens as well. I have 3 of them. You have them on your character sheets. The major characters usually have 2. I know we've discussed it in your backstory. You have 3. And each of your connections also have 2 resolve tokens as well. So when do you use them? We use them sort of in the main phase, so that's called the novel chapter, which we'll go to in a second, the epistology phase, which is the letter writing one, and the reputations phase as well, which is where the rumours and stuff start happening. But what, I hear you cry, do we use them for? Like, when would I need to use it?
But what do we use them for? When do I need to use it?
I'm so glad you asked. Oh, what? Okay. So, we do have player reference sheets so you can follow along at home as well, but you should always spend a resolve token if your major character or connection that you control would like to know something that is difficult or unlikely, which is significant to the story. Okay. So often that will be like you're at a big party and you hear an exchange or something, can my connection overhear this conversation and insert them into the scene in some way? That would then you'd spend a resolve token for that. If you want a connection you control to do something that's harmful to another major character's interests, we all have desire cards for your major characters as well. So that could be like, what if my connection comes and interferes with your proposal in some way? So again, that would be spending a resolve token. If you want to create or contribute or change the narrative events in some way that is beyond the sort of scope that we've set out. So for example, the main one that they use in Good Society is that you're on the way to a ball and there's another very big NPC coming or another character and you're like, I want their carriage to break down so they never make it to the ball. Or they miss something, or they've mislaid, or they were fallen ill, or something like that. That again would be a resolve token. And then finally, if you want to compel a major character or connection to do or feel something. Now this is the important one, because obviously consent is a big thing, right? And we are playing a romantic comedy game. There's going to be romance flying around everywhere, and the feelings are at present here. So the idea is that if you are offered a resolve token, you do not have to take it. For example, if I was going to use the Fabium and I could be like, I want you to give up all your money and announce that you are in love with someone, you could be like, no thank you, and I'll just take the resolve token back from that. But if you wanted to take that, you could be like, you could accept it, or you could accept it with conditions. You could be like, yeah, sure, I give all my money, but actually when I do the announcement, I want it to be at an event, or I want someone else to be in the room, etc. And then we can negotiate that. It's called negotiation phase on that. So the idea is it's a very collaborative game. It's very narrative in that sense. So you do not have to take things at face value. There's no such thing as yes and, even though there is an improv, but it's all about consent in that sense, you know. So we're developing it together. And of course, at any point, we discussed this in our previous session. We've got lines and veils, we've got foundries, we've got the X card in effect. But at any point, you're like, let's take a pause, let's talk about it. That is also open to you guys as well. The other thing I'm going to mention before we talk about the big structure, there's lots of talking at the top, I apologise for that in advance, is reputation tags. Now, in our backstory, we created some reputation tags that are a part of our characters, some positive and some negative. Positive tags, they are basically like, it's what society sees you as, right? It's not necessarily what you do, although you do actions that attain to them. But for example, I know from this side we've got clever for yourself, Wesley. We've also got untrustworthy.
Untrustworthy.
And
sadly, unfortunate connections.
Unfortunate connections as well. So, one thing you can do is that, say for example, you're like, oh, I want to do something in a scene, but I'm not so sure. You can exchange you, the player, can exchange your positive tags for a resolve token and cross it off. So for example,
I can no longer be clever.
Yes, you mean you're still a clever person.
Yes, but I've lost my positive reputation of being a clever person.
Exactly. So you exchange it for a token to compel or do something like that. So if you run out of tokens, that's something you can do on that front as well. I will say as well, you will gain tags and stuff in a phase later on. So you're not gonna have no personality. You see what I mean?
I was clever. Now I'm just beige.
But here's the thing for everyone else. So only the player themselves with a positive can use it. So obviously you're the only person that can use clever. Your unworthiness, untrustfulness, and your unfavourable connections, everyone else can use those against you.
So they can say, well, actually, I think you'll find that because Wesley is untrustworthy, we're going to force. In what respect? So
they, for example, would be like, let me read it here. So, you or any other player can trade your negative reputation tag for a resolve token and use this to bring your reputation into the story in a way that is harmful to your character's interests.
Okay, so I can get myself another resolve tag on one of these lovely yellow tokens by basically pointing out that, well, they're not going to trust me because I have an untrustworthy tag. Therefore, despite what I'm saying being the utmost truth, it can harm my character, and therefore I get the ability to influence the story later by getting one of these tokens.
Pretty much,
which is why I have 3 to start with,
because
I've got that extra negative tag.
Yeah. So whenever you swap a tag for a token, you cross off that reputation tag.
Right.
I wish I did not use pen to underline my positive tags.
Don't worry, it's all fine.
So,
yes, please.
So we spend a token to use our positive tag. Is that what we said? And then we.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Shall I? Say somebody does a self-sacrifice during a ball scene, and they've earned in the reputation phase. They've got the positive tag of selfless, and you write it on the public sheet. During the next phase, when you're another sort of event phase. Maybe your character wants to convince another character that the motives towards somebody else is pure. you would depict your intentions towards that person and then invoke your reputation tag of selfless. You then trade the tag for a resolve token and then offer it to compel that other person, perhaps, to change their mind. You see what I mean? So, for example, if you were going to try and change my mind, saying, "Oh, I know things because I'm clever," that's when you would do it, and then compel me to go along with your line of reasoning. If you see what I mean.
But
Gotcha.
equally, So Fabian could say, "I think you'll find he's also untrustworthy."
Yes.
And therefore I would gain a resolve token because you have used my negative reputation. So anytime I'm trying to be clever and spend the resolve token to be clever, somebody else can go, "You're untrustworthy," and make me get that resolve token immediately back.
Yes.
Cool.
But both those tags will be lost, if you see what I mean.
Ah, one and done. Awesome sauce. Yes.
Okay.
That's how I would read
Yeah,
it on that
one
front.
use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that help at all, Jacinta?
Yes, trade, actually, yeah, so yeah, trade is, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I'll do some examples as we're going
Yeah,
through, so you
perfect.
don't need to
Yeah,
worry
yeah,
about
We'll figure it out as we play.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if in doubt, just say you want to do something, and I could be like, okay, so that will be...
This is how you do it. Yeah, fine.
Absolutely. The other thing to note about reputation tags is that there is a reputation phase where we will see if your characters, we assess what they've done in the previous sort of novel chapter phase, see if they've done what we think society suggested them to do. There's little reputation things, I think, both on your character roll and on the your family like reputation criteria, essentially. And so basically we judge you from that sort of point, and then you may gain tags, you may gain positive, you may gain negative, or not at all. And then if you get 3 of the same type, it triggers a condition from that. And which you can pick, and then a short scene of you getting that condition would work as well. But again, just something to bear in mind, essentially, that if you get 3 of them, that's good news. It's interesting. Gives you a bit more character development on that front.
3 of the same type, because we've all got...
As in positive or negative.
Oh, right, so we don't have to have 3 of the... Because we've got 3 bullet points underneath the positive tag.
So remember that we create these tags together collaboratively. So for example, if you're like, oh, he was so clever, and he did all these things, maybe it would be like quick-witted or something like that, or determined or something like that. It's something like sort of it's a generic sort of not adverb, like verb that you could apply to any situation, because obviously they can be invoked elsewhere.
So I've got gain a positive tag if you, then I've got 3 bullet points.
Yes, so that would be that is a criteria.
So those are the 3 criteria one of those 3 criteria is what I've got to hit for my character, or can I do it? Or so effectively that's my, in RPG terms, that's the goal of my character, is to get one of these positive.
You don't have, so yeah, they're not. It just so happens. It's like,
okay.
if you happen to do it, that's brilliant. If not, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Cool.
And of course, I can get a negative tag if I've done one of the other 3.
Yes.
Acted in a loud, uncouth, low class, or vulgar manner.
Yes. Exactly.
Boobs.
Exactly.
Get a negative.
Cool. So those are resolve tokens and reputation tags for the moment. Yes, you also have a red token I've given you.
Oh,
That
yes.
is a monologue token. Each player receives them at the start of the cycle. You may play your monologue token on another player at any time during the game, any time during the cycle, essentially. And this means when you do so, that other player must immediately reveal their thoughts and feelings like their characters in the moment, or if you have a specific question for them about something. So you can always shape it that way. You can do it at any time. Ideally, you should do it in the novel chapter phase, because that's where most of the role play stuff is happening, but also the letter writing phase as well, because that'd be quite interesting. Like maybe they're writing a letter, but they might be meaning something else to it as well. But you will all have to spend it before the end of the upkeep phase, because that's when it refreshes. So you'll all get a chance to monologue, because I know how much we love talking.
We love it.
I'm assuming we're not going to literally just overload one person with everybody puts their monologue token and goes, Emily, monologue, Emily, monologue.
I assumed that was what you were planning when you were asking, can I stockpile monologue?
I mean, again, it could be like, can we have more detail about that? It's not. There's not like a one and done.
Okay.
You only have one to spend.
But theoretically, 3 of us could spend it on the 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as somebody who is coming back into this society, going, what on earth? Maybe you're recording your thoughts in a diary, going, you'll never guess who I met again today.
Dear diary, what a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, exactly so.
I would have thought in the intervening years they would have learned something. None of them know what an H note is.
Brilliant. Okay, so the next bit is just to quickly talk about the cycle of play. Ooh. So you should see it as this sort of 8-phase sort of thing that each phase will just briefly go into, but I seem to get it like if you just play it, it's actually okay. So the bulk of the phase, every sort of beginning of the cycle always starts with a novel chapter, and this is where most of the role players, which is where we set up the scenes, and it's very collaborative in the sense of like we could be like, oh, I want to see a scene with so and so, and so it's like, oh, I want to do a scene here. That's fine. We just decide what kind of chapter it is, define some details about what we want to see happen to it. And then we set the scene and just start playing. And at some point I'll go, stop role-playing! Okay. And then we will move on to the reputation phase. So the reputation phase is where we assess your actions you've done in the novel chapter phase. We set it against those reputation criteria, and then we create reputation tags, should we need to. And if they trigger reputation criteria conditions, that will also happen there as well. Moving on to possibly my favourite phase, called rumour and scandal. So basically this is, in good societies, there are gossipers, there are, Lady Bridgerton's sort of like letters, etc. It's where we get to create and spread rumours that we can use in the next phase of the game. And we can cross them off and use them. And again, these are sort of, when you sort of use resolve tokens, there'll be resolve tokens attached to spread rumours, so you could use them in your letter writing or anything. Then we have our first, I'm going to say this right, I've been trying to practice it, epistology? Epistolary phase, where each player will write up to 2 letters from their major character or from their connection to other people. Me as the facilitator, I can write as many letters as I like. However, I don't plan to. I mean, it's going to be like, I'll be like, Francis says to Anastasia, "Oh, Anastasia, I really like you." And Anastasia goes, "Oh, I also really like you." It'll just be back and forth. That's all I'll be doing until somebody asks me for a letter, essentially.
Okay.
But yes, you can write letters to each other. Your resolve tokens, if you've got any resolve tokens, you can compel someone to write a letter to you. And including, if you want to say, oh, I need a letter from, say, a doctor to find out the health records of someone, you can ask me and we discard that resolve token and I can give you the results of that.
Can we request what the results are?
We can discuss it.
Okay.
It's a bit more collaborative than like what it is. But yes, I can give you something on that as well.
I'd like Junior to be dying.
And then we just repeat that sort of same phase again. So it's like the second half. So we have the novel chapter again, we have the reputation, the letter writing, and then finally the upkeep, where basically any monologue tokens, we use them up, refresh them, refresh our resolve tokens, and then normally in a longer game, we'll do stuff like extended backstory, maybe change desires, progress inner conflicts, which is again something for a longer cycle game. We're only going to try and do 3 cycles for this game, but that's like a one-shot thing. Because normally, basically, it's just like a one-off film, essentially. Whereas normally, if you're doing many cycles of this, it will be like Bridgerton or something, and things will develop and people will change and NPCs will come and go.
Pride and Prejudice versus Downton Abbey, basically.
100%, yes, that's very good on that front. And that is basically it in terms of the cycle. The only last thing, I know I'm always like, I'm like Columbo in Regency period, one last thing.
One more thing.
So you will see on your character role sheet, there is like a player, as a player, you will do this. So essentially these are like the player principles. And it's just, again, it's a nice little thing just to remind you, like, we're being very collaborative here. We're creating a story together. So try and honour that respect. If you're like, but I really want this to happen, just be aware of the other people in the room, be aware of the story we're trying to create together. And if you want something to happen, just ask. And then maybe we can help together. It might not be the thing you bring to the table. It's like, I bring a brick, you bring a brick, we make a cathedral together, rather than I bring a brick, you bring the whole cathedral. It's like, well, I guess that's that then. You see what I mean? So, and for me as a facilitator as well, I also have some stuff I've got to respect the decisions made in the collaboration. I've got to ask and build questions on answers, be responsible for the structure, and play in brackets some of the supporting characters. So I'm like, okay, same voice. Bring home the consequences of the setting and the characters' actions, and add drama and complications, but only when needed. Which I think with this group, I think would be good for. So, any quick questions on the play? It is very structured, but I promise you, it's a lot of fun.
Let's give it a go.
Get started.
All right.
Set us the scene.
I will set you scene. So we're going to start with the first novel chapter. I want you to decide between yourselves what type of chapter we're going to have. And this, again, more talking, I know, but essentially we have 3 types. We have an event, we have a visitation, or a split. Normally, we start with an event. So there's a big thing going on where all the characters are involved in
Yeah,
some
Oh,
way.
yeah.
events. Yeah.
Yeah. The second one, just for a visitation, that's like little mini scenes, you know, as if you're visiting other people's houses,
Okay,
or
yeah.
it doesn't have to be that. It could be like, we'll go to the shops together, so a bit, you know, that's to develop a little bit more characters in that front. And finally, is a split scene, where that is events happening simultaneously, but at different places.
Split the party.
Yes. So it's very much like a meanwhile, you know, in
Yeah,
the...
yeah,
It's pronounced meanwhile.
Meanwhile. Exactly.
Yeah, as I say, I feel like it's nice
Event.
kind of, start it with an
Yeah.
event and then we can sort of,
Fantastic.
develop story in different directions.
An awkward piano recital.
No, we can't bring out the big guns right
No,
away.
That's true.
That's-
We gotta
What's
save that.
that?
We gotta save that.
Uh,
But I think like a party would be nice.
I'm thinking,
I love that,
surely held at Sir Fabian.
I feel like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Ooh.
It would be remiss if I did not host.
Fantastic. So I've got some examples of what an
Ooh,
event
okay.
could be. Again,
Oh.
I love...
Too late. Too late. It's a ball.
No, well,
I
it could be a
love
ball.
the idea.
We could have a birthday. We could have a funeral, picnic, masked ball, an engagement party, a country fair, a dinner party, the theatre, and then amateur dramatics, a wedding, hunting, a parade, the sale of a family manor, Christmas, maybe something to do with Valentine's Day, since it is a
Yeah.
Valentine's Day one-shot.
Valentine's Day ball.
A court, garden party featuring hedge maze of love. I've got down here.
Face of love.
But those are just suggestions. Again, what do people think? What kind of event should we have at Sir
Valentine's
Fabian's?
Day party in the garden. There's a hedge maze of love.
Out of interest, how often? So each cycle, how often is it taken in game time?
So the biggest bit will be the novel chapter. So that's the biggest role play.
So
stuff.
as in, so between each novel chapter,
see.
how long game time passes?
It can be weeks. It could be literally the next day. It doesn't. We can decide that.
I was going to say because, like, you know, surely like every Valentine's Day,
Oh, like we come back perhaps.
a yearly Valentine. Maybe
I'm
I just.
thinking
Maybe,
of, like,
yeah. It depends on if we're doing like visitations.
No, I
Perhaps,
get that.
something like that. I love that as an idea.
Or it's like the course of a year and it starts on Valentine's Day and it ends the next Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Oh
that
yeah, the
works
whole
as
thing
well.
story
Oh.
takes over that. That's
I like
cute.
that.
Works as well.
I know. Okay.
Cool.
I mean, some kind of party. Like the garden party would be.
Sure.
I
yeah.
mean, a
Yeah.
garden party in February, but we can do it.
It's where the rain comes from.
Yeah.
The rain.
We don't know about history. Did you know that in the Regency era in England, it was actually really lovely in February?
Really? Oh well then.
Particularly from the 13th to the 15th of February.
This is
that
just
one
known as
little
that.
bit. Yeah. Well, is there any particular? If it was going to be a party around Valentine's Day or love, is there any particular theme? You know, like are people dressed up as a masked ball type
Well,
thing?
I was
or mixed
actually
race?
going to say on Valentine's Day, but I think because I like the idea of the funeral, I'm thinking it's your mum's funeral.
No, that
Oh
is
my
interesting. Yeah, that's a real
goodness.
possibility.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Because you obviously you've got the dad, but you don't
Dad,
have the
don't have
mum.
the mum. Where's mum?
Where's
Yeah.
Where's
And
Mum?
because,
There she is.
in the ground, yeah. And you know that's and because obviously the Braithwaites are the landed gentry of Newelton.
Yes.
Everybody gets to be invited,
Yes, absolutely.
which is why everyone's here.
Yes, that would make
It
sense.
could
Paying their
yeah.
respects to Lady.
I just
Yeah.
would like to say for the record, I don't think we've actually said what the town's name is on
No, I know,
camera.
so
No,
The town's name is New Old Town.
but the correct pronunciation is
Newton.
New Old Town.
New Old Town.
New Old Town.
New Old
Unless
Town.
you're a Braithwaite, in which is New Old Town.
So I like that though. I like the idea that it's the passing of somebody, but we want to celebrate their life in some way. Maybe she loves this time of year,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
and she wants to. and-
Valentine's Day was her favourite thing.
Her name was
So she
Her
died.
name was Valentina.
Braithwaite.
Beautiful.
Her name's
Yeah.
Valentina.
Lady Valentina
She
Braithwaite.
died in
Jane
August, but we
Valentina.
didn't
She always wanted to be buried around this time.
It
So she died
reeks,
around there.
absolutely reeks by this point, but hey.
Yeah, she's just been there next to the stuffed bear.
She loved us all. We had them stuffed and mounted. No, let's.
No, I like that.
Valentina
So,
Braithwaite is actually an adorable name.
so I guess then. So we have a scene where it's opening out onto this vast, beautiful garden. With a love hedge maze, perhaps, we don't know. So I'm going to give it over to you, Will, Sir Fabian. I want you to pick me a number between. Well, first of all, how is Fabian feeling? Actually, how it's a very auspicious day, perhaps. Like, how are you feeling?
Fabian is somewhat reserved, as he often is. His feelings are conflicted. Mother was a bit of a battle axe, bless her. She would get us out of bed in the mornings with a bucket of cold water and. It's character building. But she'd always have a great respect for the girl. But father did love her dearly, and now he was. I worry for him more than anyone. But the grounds are done up in a fair. She loved this time of year, so we have moved events to make sure that she could be buried on St. Valentine's Day, and the maze has been decked out in festive yet respectful shades of red hearts. Anatomically correct as well, because death is something that comes to all of us.
Wow.
Memento mori and all that.
Memento mori.
She was very graphic about that, and it's of the time. Yes, she will be gone, but her memory will live on in the giant mausoleum that she's asked us to erect for her. Yes, you wanted a number. Was it what you asked?
Yes, that's what I did.
Whatever, based off of that, whatever the highest number is.
So I was trying to sort of gauge how you are feeling as a player, and what I got from that is that you're keeping it together, but you are sad. There's a loss there. Right?
There's a loss.
So you would say you're sad, right?
I am sad.
Can you pick me a number between 1 and 20?
20. I'm going to go for 18.
18. Okay. So, the music that is playing by the string quartet is obviously a classical cover of modern songs, right? Because that's why I was asking you guys before to give me your songs before the show to see, because obviously Bridgerton is very famous for doing covers of songs.
I did not know that.
No,
I have not seen Bridgerton.
Oh, there you
sorry.
go.
No,
So, you as our scene opens into this, people are rushing around trying to get things ready. These people are like, "Oh my God, these are anatomical hearts," putting them up a little bit, going, "She was a wild one," And so people start to arrive. You see a string quartet start to play, and they start to play "Love Story" by Taylor Swift. So very slow and methodical and quiet.
She did love that song.
Yes. I'm going to ask the three of you now, the other three, to paint a small detail, a bit of setting up the world, setting up the scene a little bit. So I'm going to go for you first, Jacinta. What is something that stands out, that's not necessarily the hearts, but it's something that stands out to either your character or just to the scene at general, if you see what I mean?
Well, I don't have a particularly personal connection with this family, so I feel like I must come to pay my respects because they're a well-known family in New Old Town, and
just behind you.
and so I must come. I also my student is here, so there is someone I know, and there may be some other people I know here as well who I may want to see, and so I'm feeling a little daunted. I think so. So I think I'm definitely I'm aware of sort of so how big the house is and how big the grounds are. And there's probably footmen. I think there's probably a footman at the gate, kind of directing you in and things. And I think I do move in kind of high society circles, but maybe more the sort of bohemian fringes of it. So being in here at the seat of power, it sort of feels a little daunting. So.
Yes, so there's definitely a feeling of everyone's quite sad, but it's like a sense of movement. You sort of mentioned there's a footman leading people around. There's definitely snacks.
Oh yes, there are snacks.
But it's almost like they're all sort of dressed sort of in darker sort of mourning clothes. I think everyone was very fond of your mother, and so they're sort of rushing around, but obviously doing it in a quiet, auspicious way.
We're serving beetroot canapes.
100%, yes, in the shape of an
anatomically correct heart.
Stain.
And people are like, oh, so gauche. Over here on this table.
So out in the garden, there's a little gazebo.
I attack the gazebo. Inside joke, never mind.
Okay. So there's a little lovely gazebo, and there's some little, well, they didn't have fairy lights back then, but like little candles
like tea lights
inside
or
of it.
something.
Yeah, little tea lights, and Phoebe and I used to go there as children, and it's probably my favorite part of this estate.
So it's something that's always like a trademark sort of like part of the any ball or anything. There's always a beautiful gazebo with these lights lit up on that. Lovely. And I would say it's not like as we would call it, a small tiny one. It's like a proper long one, maybe with candles and all that sort of thing going into the evening. That sounds really good. Going over here.
So I'm actually going to do Edwin on this one because, of course, his wife has died.
Yes, of course.
So he's there in his full military uniform, starched, pressed collars, medals there, standing stoically, just observing and graciously accepting everybody's apologies and commiserations with a terse nod, desperately keeping in the proper stiff upper lip of British society. Not wanting to show any form of emotion, desperately wanting to talk to his children about it, but unable to do so because of the situation. So he's basically, observing it all with a yes, well, and like dealing with things in a very methodical and efficient manner because he is an army colonel.
Yes, absolutely.
It's what he does. And he's almost reverting back to his training and reverting back to type of just dealing with everything like that and not really engaging on the personal level that perhaps his children would want.
Absolutely. I think I think people probably already had the private family service and this is more the public celebration, so you still have people flocking up to you, giving their condolences and stuff. Like you're maybe at the front of the manor, like giving those handshakes and like thank you, that sort of thing. Whilst all at the same time being, and then of course people rush in and completely forget about your grief.
Yes. Well, they're after the beetroot cupcake.
Yes, cupcake.
Valentine would love the beetroot. Nope. Fine.
Yes, exactly. So that's our scene sort of set. I think what would be nice to go to is like what are people's what are you folks doing in terms of your characters here? Obviously we know what Fabian's doing, we know what one of the connections is doing. For yourself, Hyacinth, how do you find yourself here with folks? Like how have you come to this scene, would you say?
Well, I'm obviously here to support my childhood best friend
That's it,
through the death of his mother. I couldn't let you do this alone, darling.
No, she was practically a mother to you in those years as far as...
Oh, good old Valentina. She always insisted I call her Valentina.
Yeah, she insisted I call her that too.
I always did think that was a bit odd.
Yeah, she was oddly cold.
Yes.
Like water.
But a wonderful woman.
Oh, indeed, absolutely.
Cool, refreshing water.
Indeed, yes, very bracing woman.
But anyway, I am...
Father.
I am here for you, darling.
Thank you, that means a lot to me.
Good.
What about Lydia?
I know that there's not sort of bad blood between the Braithwaites and the Reagans at the moment.
Yet, yeah.
But I did think that Wesley might be here, and I thought that it might be nice to catch up with Wesley because we haven't seen each other as often as I might have hoped, given our friendship.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what about Wesley then?
This is the after the unfortunate incident that we don't speak of a couple of years ago. This is the first chance I've really had a chance to get close to my old friend Fabian, and I don't want to take advantage of the situation, but I want to be there for him, despite what's come between us. I know he spoke fondly of his mother, and I do want to do what I can to start to make things right.
Fantastic. Okay, so you all have a reason. You're all sort of in this scene. I'm going to start the action. That we're about halfway through the proceedings. People have arrived. People have had their anatomical heart.
Where do I put this? It's all down.
There's beetroot in the hedgerows.
Yes, yeah. Quite a few servants picking it out, putting it in a bin. They're not recircling it.
Yes.
And I am going to compel. I'm going to just use an example. I'm going to compel Edwin to do a speech to everyone, like it's, like a proper like toast to the person, but on the caveat that maybe he doesn't say what he wants to say. That sort of like keeps it on in some way.
Okay, that's that. I'm happy with that.
All right, so I give you this token, and you put it on
Thank you.
Edwin's
On
thing.
Edwin's.
Yep. So yes, I leave it over to you then.
Okay.
I would like to hear a speech that Edwin does.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you very much indeed for coming here to Braithwaite Manor here in Newalton. I know that you all have got very fond memories of my Valentina. She was a character. Fascination with anatomy, as you can see from the delightful cupcakes, which I can see you've all been enjoying very nicely. My children are here, obviously. We have Fabian and Melissa. Millicent? Melissa. Oh. Shit. That's not in character. That's face forgetting,
Yes.
not Edwin. Is it Melissa? Sorry, yeah.
Melissa.
Melissa.
What is it?
Melissa.
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 That's what I said. Melissa.
Don't look at me. I'm
Millicent.
I'm not saying Millicent. Ember and Emma.
It's
Anyway.
pronounced Millicent.
Melissa.
You see Melissa standing next to her brother, only a little bit
My
younger.
sister's name down too.
Yes. She goes, no one remembers my name in this family.
I feel like it's very...
Brother. Yes.
It's like I don't exist.
But yeah, she's sort of next to you, also dressed in sort of morning clothes as well, and she's sort of, again, quiet and whilst jokes aside, no one remembers her. I have a funny feeling no one's going to remember these siblings.
Yeah.
But yeah, but she's also there, and she
Yeah.
sort of like nods to you.
It is very painful for all of us. And it means a great deal that you have all decided to come here and honour my late wife and her life and her love and her legacy. With regards to my children, they thank you also.
All right. And then
And please raise a glass. Lady Valentina Braithwaite.
Lady
Lady
Valentina
Braithwaite.
Braithwaite.
And there's general sort of like little gentle applause, even though it's quite inappropriate to applaud something like this. But there was definitely a silence of like, and the music still sort of continues going into sort of a general sort of more upbeat tone in that sense as well. So I'm going to open the floor. So that set the scene, essentially. We have all these people sort of milling around, both in the gardens, in the house as well. And I'm just going to open it to the rest of you. What scenes would we like to see? What, is there like, I'd like to have a scene with that person. Just say it loud and we can establish it from there, essentially.
I would like to head to the drinks table
Mhm.
and get a free drink.
Yep.
I'm hoping there's a drinks table.
You have an empty glass and you have to wait for someone to come around and charge.
Yeah, in for the toasting, I was like,
There's definitely, I would say there's definitely like punch or something like that.
wonderful.
Did you
okay.
down the drink in the
It's
toast?
loud.
Yes. And I think I'd like to sort of subtly look around for my old friend Wesley.
Wesley, okay. So you go to this, extravagant table of various, well, it looks like, like almost like potions, there's all sorts of big, not urns. That's very inappropriate.
It turns, yeah.
You're exactly
Thematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we've gone for that. It is a rom-com, it's default sort of Regency, but also it's completely off, guys.
It's a gothic rom-com.
Gothic.
Very forward
Victoria,
Which
yes.
actually Jane Austen did, where she wrote
Oh, there we go then.
Northanger
Abbey.
Well, there we are.
There we go. Not so much in terms of the.
You never said which Austen.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So yes, you go. You try and look for Wesley, but you can't say who you do see though. You do see at the other end. You do see Melissa, and you can see her. She's starting to like look around and start knocking them back as well.
Okay. I'm gonna go over with I think can I? Is it? Oh, there's not bottles. There's just urns. Okay.
What you can make whatever we want in this world.
Send a token to create bottles.
Can I have bottles?
Please.
No. Keep it.
Please may I find a bottle of something
There is
bubbly.
the equivalent of party booze in the sense of like there's glass bottles or there's enough like cordials
jug
and stuff
or
like.
something. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
something a little bit more than that.
I'll,
Yes.
Okay.
I'll spend a token if I need to, but I'd like Dennis to be there as well.
I mean, would we be happy to have Dennis around for that? Like, are people happy with that?
I'm happy.
Yeah,
I think
Dennis
that
to be there.
I
Yes.
think
I'm
that
happy
Booze
for
and
Dennis.
his BFF.
Yeah. So you don't. So as a result, I guess he can be part of the scene. I guess if you want him to do anything.
Right, gotcha.
That's right. So
That's
yes,
when the token gets
yes.
spent. Okay, with you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also, if we all agree, like, oh yeah, that sounds really good, then we let it go as well. It's very loosey-goosey
Yeah,
in
cool.
terms of an exchange as well.
Mhm,
So yes,
mhm.
Dennis can also be there in the background. So yeah.
Darling.
So I would like to take this bottle, jug, whatever.
Um,
No,
You know what? It's a mason jar. How's that?
Yeah.
Take that.
It has lots of alcohol. in
I
it.
don't know. I would like to take it
It's
over.
got a handle. Yeah.
I'd like to take it over to Melissa.
Hello.
Say hello and as
Oh.
condolences.
Oh.
Sorry, it looked like you needed this.
Oh. How?
Would you like?
Well, I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not acquainted. What's your name?
Oh, Lydia. Do you play the piano?
No.
Would you like to?
Well, I'd actually like to get away from here, really. I just find it such a dreadful bore, and well, my brother's such a silly goose, and I just wish he'd just chin up a little bit, like. I know, Anastasia, your sister, right?
You know Anastasia?
Yes.
I know. Did you go to art school together?
Yes. Yes, we did. If that's what she's saying we did, that's exactly what we did.
You sound just like her.
do you know that Anastasia? We must have. Anastasia was recently widowed, and her
Terrible news.
terrible.
Terrible.
And her husband left her his whole estate, so she probably has some space in her house. If
Oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's
Well, but
company.
I have to be there for Papa and for Fabian. So, but it's just, you know how it's like. You just get stuck in the same. Everyone's miserable, and we should be celebrating because Mama, she was so full of life and she loved her science, and she loved.
This certainly is honouring her life. I
It
think
really is.
it's
It really
a
is.
joyful occasion, really.
But do you? And she points to your mason jar, and she's like, do you go out much, Miss Lydia?
I do. I have lots of picnics. Would you like to come to one?
What kind of picnics?
It's a picnic. We
Did
sit
you
on-
say love picnics?
It was at this point that Dennis enters the scene.
Yes, perfect.
Darling, are you talking about our picnic?
Dennis, I'm so glad to see you. Yes, I've just been telling Melissa about our love picnics.
Oh, our love picnics are the absolute toast of the town.
Yes, they are.
Oh, Mr. Dennis Cook, hello.
Yes, hello. Pleased to meet me, aren't you?
Drinks into her mason jar.
That's what all the ladies say, and the gentlemen. Everyone is, really. As you were saying about this mason jar, where would I acquire one?
Oh, you could have mine, Mr. Cook.
No, darling Millicent, I wouldn't dream of it.
Okay. She does not correct you.
Dennis, let me show you. Melissa, we will be in touch about the love picnic. The next one is
Love picnic.
next is that
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Tuesday.
on the heath.
I'll check my diary. I'm free.
You're 3. No,
Free.
Oh, free. Is that over 23?
I meant to say I'm 23, but I'm also available for your picnic.
What a wonderful! Delightful.
Really? Okay. Have you seen the grounds, Dennis Cook, Mr. Cook?
You may call me Dennis.
She does a little hand gesture.
So are you single?
Well, I'm maybe.
Would you like to be?
What?
What? Would you like to be? Are you
single?
dumping her before you even get together with her?
That's what she usually says about the whole piano lesson thing. I thought it was a nice opening line. Clearly, some people have different tastes.
Well, I know in a couple of maybe. I do love, whilst I'm not necessarily a musician, I do love music, and I do love hearing stuff. So maybe I'd love to if you have a get together sometime. Maybe I'd love to. Do you like music? And she's clearly like going back and forth, going, oh no.
Perhaps my newest piano student could perform. I've been looking for an opportunity for
Oh
her.
yes, you and your piano student, darling.
My piano student, Dennis.
I mean, you're completely platonic piano student.
Dennis, I'm a professional.
Professional what, though, darling?
Well, that's the
Anyway,
question.
Millicent, love picnic next Tuesday.
Okay.
Bring a bottle.
Oh, okay.
Or 3.
Or an urn.
An urn. Meanwhile, what is? Let's go for Wesley. If that's all right. You obviously have arrived. You've seen sort of stuff. What would you be doing at this party? And is there a particular scene you want to do with somebody or a connection?
I think that at some point Wesley and Sir Fabian are going to notice each other. Obviously, I'm looking out for you. You had no idea that I was going to be there. And I think that would be an interesting scene.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yep.
I was thinking it would be interesting because if Hyacinth and Wesley were having a conversation. Because Hyacinth, I don't think, has ever met Wesley before. So I think that would be an interesting
Beautiful.
Indeed.
convergence.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's set that up then. So where would you two be speaking?
well, So I'm around. So you two are meeting first. I'm around doing the.
Oh, you're cutting in.
I have to. Yes, indeed. I think
Fantastic.
that's because I'm doing the rounds. I'm doing the meet and greet. So yes, absolutely. Very good of you to come. Yes, no.
And,
I didn't know
you
she
call
had-
and you call Sir Fabian over to meet me.
You must meet this man.
Perfect. Well, let's
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
let's set up that
okay.
scene then. So let's say again, so we have the toast, everything like that, and maybe you bump into each other or something like that. I'll leave that up to your
Okay.
discretion.
I
right?
think Hyacinth has sort of wandered over to the gazebo, knowing that, well, obviously Fabian will come over here at some point because this was always our spot that we would go to. So if I position myself here, surely he'll come over here shortly. But then, who else should come along?
It's I've not seen a gazebo quite so decorated in such a magnificent manner before.
It is quite lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Hyacinth, by the way.
Wesley, nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Wesley, did you say?
Wesley, yes.
Oh, well.
Wesley Reagan. I'm recently back from London. I grew up here. Well, very, very long time ago. My parents in the next town over in Old Newton.
Oh, really? Oh, I've never been over to Old Newton. I always thought it sounded a bit old.
Well, it was a lovely place. But it's strange. My people who I know here, I actually don't know from here. I know from actually in London.
Oh,
Strange how these things happen.
you've been to London, have you?
I studied there for quite some time. Got a bit of a junior partnership in one of the firms there.
Partnership?
It's
Partnership?
it's very, very, very. It's still very junior, very junior. I did a little bit of went to Oxford and did a little bit of law and small amounts of business in London. It's nothing. It really is the wrong place to be talking about this sort of thing. What about you? Please tell me. How do you know Old Newton, New Old Town here?
Well, my family's from here originally. I haven't been here in years. Well, I've been back. I'm sort of, well, living with family at the moment, as my parents, well, let's just say the funeral of a mother is not something to which I am a stranger.
Oh, my profound apologies.
It's fine, don't worry about it. But anyway, I've come back here. I'm living with my cousin and my aunt. They are lovely people, and I get along very well with them. If you catch my drift.
Yes, family is always interesting. Allow me to one day, hopefully you'll never meet my cousin Mortimer.
Yep.
He's he's eccentric, without a shadow of a doubt. To family.
To family.
At this point, yes.
Yeah.
Fabian!
please.
No, thank you. Yes, very good of you to come. No, yeah. She come out, took up peacock hunting, and we did advise her against it. But I mean, there's no sport in it, really, is there? But
They
anyway,
are such beautiful creatures, sir.
Indeed, absolutely magnificent, especially when they're flying all over the place. and
Gorgeous.
terror-
Animal cruelty, animal cruelty.
Sorry. Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry for your loss, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Miss Norbury.
Have you met Wesley here?
Indeed, Mr. Regan.
Sir Fabian.
We have we have met before. I did not know you would be gracing us with your presence today.
It was your mother was an inspiration to the community, Sir Fabian.
Yes, indeed.
I felt it would be improper of me not to extend my condolences to the family and to you personally.
Yes, thank you. Will you be staying long?
I'm staying with my cousin in Old Newton. It's just whilst I'm in the area.
Of course. Well, of course, the grounds of Newton are yours to peruse as you see fit.
Fabian, I was wondering whether we could chat whilst I'm here.
This is hardly the time.
Not now, I appreciate it, but sometime, perhaps?
I shall be in my study this afternoon. Yeah, I can start business at that time.
Maybe a day that's not your mother's funeral.
No, I'd rather get it quick. It's if it's all the same to you.
Of course, I didn't mean to impose.
But I must.
No, please. I've taken up far too much of Hyacinth's time. Thank you for a lovely conversation. I shall leave you to it. Sir Fabian, Lady Hyacinth.
Lovely to meet you. What was that?
Mr. Regan and us, me and myself, we have a history of a kind.
Oh yes, I could tell that. I hardly thought you'd be speaking like that to someone you just met.
I did not mean for that to come across. I'm sorry, I didn't. Was that awfully awkward of me? Should I have...
Well, I sort of thought I should go away. Felt like I was intruding on something.
Forgive me, Miss Northbury. But yes, it's,
Really, Fabian? Miss Northbury, how long have you known me?
You just call him Fabian.
Yes, you should.
That's a special name for him.
That's my pet name for him, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, brilliant.
yes, Hyacinth. Today is of mixed emotions, and you must forgive me if I'm a little stiff.
Of course. I will always forgive your stiffness, darling.
How is Mama, and how is your time away in foreign parts?
My time was fine. It has come to an end. I'm actually back in town now, permanently, or semi-permanently. Yes, I am staying with Aunt Abigail. Actually.
Aunt Abigail.
Yes, my
Yes. The bees.
with the bees.
Bees.
Yes. She does love her bees.
Yes.
If you wanted to come over for some honey sometime.
Of course, for some honey.
It makes quite excellent additive to tea.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
if you have
indeed.
a sore throat or a cough or anything, well, I won't say it fixes it because, well, it doesn't. But it will make it a little better.
I would love. I would. Of course, I would be at your behest. I would love to take tea and a little honey with you and your aunt. Yes.
Well, I shan't keep you from mingling with your guests.
I am going to offer a resolve thing. I'm going to try and change something narrative. I'm going to say the weather picks up and suddenly the gazebo falls around you, not necessarily hurting you, but you're sort of like pushed together
Oh.
in some way. If you want it.
Yeah.
So I'll spend it if people are
Yes,
going
absolutely.
to spend it. So
I would like to spend
Yeah.
Wesley's token
Oh.
to still be nearby when this happens.
Absolutely,
Oh.
yes. So yeah, you sort of turn back. There's like I actually should say something to it. And you see it happen.
Also outside when the weather picks up and just hears the command. I haven't quite gone inside yet. I'm still collecting my thoughts. I'm like a short sprint away.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, you see it happening, and I'll let it describe. So yeah, suddenly the wind picks up. It starts to rain, and the gazebo teeters, and then
Oh. Father always said it would do this one day, and it's come for its revenge.
Yes, well, as long as the tea lights don't
I
come down and light anything on fire, we'll be...
Is it on top of us now?
Fabian, are you okay? Hyacinth, are you fine in there?
We're fine. There's something sticking in my. I'm sorry. Oh, that's.
Sorry, that's the honey.
Travis,
I'll just stay still. I'll get something to free you.
various manservants and stuff come over and come and help you, like,
Okay,
start
so-
to, my lord, sir.
Kind of like pulling back and
Yeah.
and the rain is pouring.
Pouring.
You know,
People have scuppered inside.
it's like you're in a power shower. You basically instantly wet.
Absolutely.
Literally, you
That's
guys are under the gazebo.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, but
Everyone
when
else.
kind of like when we finally pull it back down, I'm literally dripping wet, soaked to the skin.
Your locks.
My locks
Oh.
are beautiful. They're still beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Head
But
and
it
shoulders
doesn't go
advert.
frizzy. Sort of like being kind of like swept back with the rain dripping down and things like this. Oh, thank goodness you're both okay.
Yes, the trellis has rather lodged itself within my trousers, but yes, we're quite fine. Thank you. No,
I didn't mean
assistance
to.
Needed. Yes.
Lady Hyacinth, you okay? I mean, it is. Stay there. It is far too cold.
Come inside, lady.
Let me get an umbrella for you, please.
No.
It
It's
is
really not.
It is absolutely
It's really
bucketing
not.
it down.
It's really very not. Don't you?
I'm sorry.
Done quite enough. We shall discuss business later.
I was just hoping that perhaps the Lady
Lady
Hyacinth
Hyacinth.
would not want to get soaking in the.
I would prefer not to get soaking wet if that is an option. If the lady might speak for herself.
Very well. If that is Lady Hyacinth's with
Challenging it in a bit, precisely.
then she shall. Then, of course. He turns and he takes a walk into the house, getting absolutely rained on.
Phoebe,
Beautiful.
I'm sorry, this is very awkward.
do you have an umbrella or were you just taking things?
I was going to get an umbrella. I was going to ask you to not leave, or Sir Fabian, because this is ruined, and I didn't particularly want it to happen to my
Your what?
old friend.
What happened? I've never seen him act like that around anyone before.
I feel that if I told you my side of what happened, I would somehow steer you away from your friend, and I would not wish that. So, if it is all the same, maybe that is a conversation you need to have with Sir Fabian. Now, I will quite happily keep you company in this weather, if you wish me to, or I can find. As soon as Sir Fabian gets back here with the umbrella, I will leave the pair of you to continue your conversation. I just wanted to make sure that he and you were fine in this collapse. And I'm going to start desperately trying not to shiver because it's February
Yes.
and he's soaking.
Yes.
She's gonna root around in, I don't know if she's got like a small purse or a pocket or something, and pulls out a handkerchief and goes, "It's not much, but at least it's dry."
As the hands sort of like hold that moment where you're passing over the handkerchief. I'm gonna go to you, Lydia. You're at the booze table with your mason jars. I am gonna spend my last token.
Yeah.
As you turn around, maybe to follow Dennis somewhere else, you spill a drink on Edwin and have a conversation with Edwin.
Can I have? So I was actually also going to say so yes, but also can I have witnessed this moment?
Outside, yes,
Oh.
you can definitely do
Oh,
that.
and maybe that's when you turn round in
Yes.
and that's
And
when you turn
that's
round.
why I spilled the drink.
Yes, you basically
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
heads
Yeah.
turn out,
Yeah.
perhaps, and maybe they can't see it because but you instantly clock your protege having this conversation as the storm is present, and as you go, and you're like, and as you do so, I would offer that you spill your drink on
Yes,
Sir Edwin.
on Sir Edwin. Okay, so yes, so I've just been talking.
And
Because you give that to.
I give that to you because obviously
Yes.
I'm compelling you to do
Yes, of
something.
course.
But then
Yes,
you're
yes.
immediately spending it to be in a...
Yes.
But I gave you one already. So
Yes,
no,
yes,
Oh,
yes, I'm
okay.
giving you
Yeah.
back. I'm giving you
I'm
back.
giving it back. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's fine. It just means I
Neutral.
don't have any now.
Right.
I
okay,
basically,
yeah.
this is me to demonstrating how you would
Yes,
use the thing.
yes.
So this is sort of
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
these ones
cool,
have been
cool, cool.
spent. So yes, so
So I've just been laughing at something that my friend Dennis has said, and I was just talking about, oh Melissa, yes, you must go. Gosh, it's got very wet. And then I turned
And I
around.
told her it would earn us a favour if we brought one.
Of course.
and then
Oh, what the...
Oh, I'm so dreadfully sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss, and now I've just made everything a lot worse by.
Don't
by
stop!
going-
Stop! No, it's fine. These things happen. Don't worry. These things happen. You are...
I'm Lydia Jones.
Lydia?
Yes.
And,
Dennis, darling, lovely to meet you. You kiss it. Or you do that. That's absolutely fine. Sorry for your loss.
yes, well, you seem to have, it's okay. This uniform has seen far worse. Far worse. Yes, well, yes.
I'm sure you must have achieved many wonderful important things for your country. And it's raining so much, it hasn't really made much difference.
Yes, isn't that my son out there getting soaked to the bone?
Yeah.
He'll catch his death. Fabian!
Coming, Father.
Bear with me. What did you say your name was, sorry?
Lydia.
Lydia.
And that's your son talking to my piano student.
Ah, yes. Fabian, come on, what are you doing outside?
Yes, Father. Yes, I'm taking a bracing walk, quite raising the blood pressure. You know, as mother
Look.
want.
It is a little bit too... How can I put this, my dear boy? Maybe it's a little bit, inappropriate, considering that your mother died of pneumonia, to be walking around outside in February completely soaking. I do not want to... But I have to deal with such consequences.
You're absolutely right, Father. You're absolutely right. I will go inside and change immediately.
Yes.
I apologise
And
for being-
find me another uniform.
being-
This...
You want me to change you as well?
Find me a new jacket.
Of course, Father. Yes, I will.
This-
Into, yes.
Lovely young lady.
Yes, I don't believe we've had a pleasure.
Lydia. Lydia
yes,
Jones.
hello.
Fabian.
Yes, Fabian.
assume I'm-
Yes.
It's it's a pleasure to.
Jacket, boy, jacket!
Of course, yes. Once, Father.
And I'm Dennis.
We're
Retreating form.
A picnic.
Dennis charmed.
Mutual, I'm sure.
Brilliant. Okay. Is there anything more for that scene with Lydia and Edwin at all? Because I obviously gave you the compel on that. So, was there anything?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, it's fine. I
Yes,
just
no,
give you enough space
of
to do
course, yes.
Oh, but yeah, you wanted to see the...
You wanted to see the Wesley and...
Yes, I did want to see that. So I have seen that, right? Because I.
Yeah, so you've seen them through the window and stuff, but I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to do. Otherwise, we can draw this chapter to a close. And so I'm just making sure anyone who's any burning desire to do anything.
No, I want to hear what Lydia's...
I want.
Oh! We got a monologue,
Oh
baby!
my
Token,
goodness.
fantastic.
Moments that you see, their fingers touch.
Yes. So you want to know, what does Lydia think seeing this exchange of the protege to someone, your friend, because you've not spoken to him yet either. And so you see this moment. How do you feel about this, Lydia? What is coming to the forefront of your mind?
The first thing I feel is shock. Because I wouldn't expect this of either of them.
Monologue this, baby.
As if you were writing like Dear Diary or something like that.
How could they? I share a very special relationship with, well, with one of them in particular, but perhaps both of them. And I didn't know they knew each other. I didn't know they had any sort of connection, and that looked like a rather intimate connection. And I think perhaps I seem to have spilt something on someone. I must write a letter. I will write a letter, and I will approach this in a. I need to find them. I need to talk to them, but I can't do that right now. I have to deal with this, and then I will write to them, and then we will talk about it, and I'll work out what is going on.
Oh, gosh. As the sort of party starts to dwindle and stuff, I just want to end on Sir Fabian, if that's okay, because obviously you've started your scene sort of view. So I just want to again know like what sort of your ending bit, because obviously you go up and get changed, you go get your father's stuff. Like, what's the plan?
My plan is to change and to be in my study to receive business if Mr. Wesley Regan is amenable to it, as we said.
So I open it to you. Like, does he go? Does anyone stop him? We've got obviously all these other characters that could intervene and prevent you from going. And I'm going to open it up to the floor to encourage people to use their resolve tokens in some way.
If I could see Wesley and try to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't even. I'm happy with that without the token.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you run in. Like, again, depending on how do you resolve the gazebo thing? Do you eventually both?
I think eventually somebody comes out with an umbrella, and Lady Hyacinth is escorted in, and Wesley will just wait outside by himself
in the
rain whilst she is escorted away. Before enough time has passed, he's going to schlep in, literally dripping everywhere.
Yep.
Try and wring himself off and make her like, okay, right, let's have that really awkward conversation with Sir Fabian.
But you do still have my handkerchief.
Still have the handkerchief.
Yes.
Turn the corner and literally...
You're there.
Wesley.
Lydia.
Wesley.
What a surprise.
Regan. What
Yes,
a
of course.
surprise. I suppose you didn't expect to see me here today.
No, and I take the handkerchief and I'm putting it inside my inside pocket.
That's a pretty handkerchief.
It's not mine.
No.
Lydia, this is... And I kind of like trying to usher to one side. This is hardly the time or the place to be having this conversation.
Well, perhaps if you had replied to my letters, we wouldn't be needing to have a conversation right now.
I thought I explained everything in my last letter, that the work is going difficult and I need to spend more time in London to square things away. I cannot be a partner in this firm if I'm constantly back in Old Newton.
Well, it's been 3 years, and you've been saying the same thing for 3 years.
Look, my dear, I know what we discussed, and I still, of course, want to ensure that we are happy moving forwards, and that is going to require a certain position that I need to attain. My parents don't have the wealth of these people here.
Well, look, I have an income. I'm a piano teacher. In fact, I think you know one of my piano students.
Fabian?
I'd not realised Fabian had an interest in the piano. Hyacinth?
Hyacinth. Oh, and I'm going to get out the handkerchief again. I'd hardly say no. She gave me a handkerchief because I was, well, soaked to the bone.
How nice of her. She is lovely, isn't she?
put it away. I need to have a chat with Fabian about London.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to feel this is awkward, Lydia. As I said, I still wish to honour the agreements that we made. If that is still what you want.
Of course. I'm so glad.
Good.
Thank you for putting my mind at rest.
No,
Off you
that-
go.
And I walk away.
And I assume Lydia does as well. I'm going to spend a token for Melissa,
Oh!
the sister of Sir Fabian, because I like the idea you pulled her into a library.
Oh!
And then she just peeks up as you both leave.
What was Margaret doing there?
Margaret. Melissa. She's just there, and then she takes a sip from her mason jar that she brought into the library.
That Molly, she gets everywhere.
She does.
Ah, Mavis.
Before
Typical
we do that final scene with the business, 'cause I definitely want to see that. I want to check if Lady Hyacinth wants to do anything quick, because you've just been brought back in. If there's a particular scene that you would like to do, and it doesn't have to be with any of the characters here. It could just be general, like anything with the other party goers.
I think I've basically spoken to everyone to whom I wish to speak at the moment.
I'd kind of like you to meet Wesley's younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I reckon
okay.
that'd be a nice connection to make.
Francis, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Cool. Great. Yeah. Well,
So I'm like in by the fire trying to warm up.
yeah.
You're not wet.
I was outside in February.
Maybe you take off, depending on how you feel about this. Take off your stockings and you're like putting them by the fire. You're making yourself very at home. And you're sort of there with your toes next to the fire.
She's brought herself up to the fire. She's warming her toes by the fire, and she goes into this horrendous coughing fit.
Yes, perfect, yes. And you just hear, "Oh dear, do you not have a handkerchief?" And you turn around and you see a younger lady, about 17 years old. She's holding lots of papers. She's clearly doing like work as she goes, and she goes, "Oh dear, here, maybe you could have an Excel spreadsheet." That's not what we call them, but
Oh,
An excellent
an
spreadsheet.
excellent spreadsheet.
spreadsheet.
Hello.
Bed
Thank
sheets.
you. I don't want to cough.
Oh, I've done them in triplicate. It's fine.
Oh well,
Sorry.
I can't really delicately cough at the moment.
That's okay. I'm Francis. Hello.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Hyacinth.
Oh, Hyacinth. I know your cousin. No, your aunt.
Your
Your
Oh, you
aunt.
know Aunt Abigail.
Abigail. Yes.
Yes, with the honey.
Bees.
Yes, she's quite passionate about them, isn't she?
She loves them.
Yes, almost too much, one might
Bit of
say.
a buzz.
Ah, buzz indeed.
Are you quite all right?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. I just have a bit of a cough, but it's nothing to worry about.
Okay. Can I sit here? And she points to the little poof next to you.
Yes, of course, as long as you don't mind the occasional, sounds as if a lung is trying to escape from my body.
Ah. As long as you don't mind me doing my sum formulas as I go.
What are they for?
Oh,
What
it's
are you
quite-
summating?
Oh, it's quite fascinating. My brother, he's he's really in on it. He loves career. He loves he's very clever, very smart, and I just want to be just like him. So I thought instead of using words, which I'm not very good with, I would use the other thing, which is maths.
Yes, maths.
So yes, I quite like numbers because, well, you always know where you are with them. They're very precise and very. You don't just misinterpret the meaning unless you've written them down wrong.
Fair enough, I suppose. I'm not very good with numbers myself. If
Oh.
I try to write them down, they tend to misinterpret me, I think.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, maybe I can help you. I'm hoping to get into the accounting business in some ways. I've actually been writing lots of articles on the financial stuff, and well, maybe I can help you if you're having trouble with your tax returns. I'm sorry, I'm very keen.
I mean,
I'm not very good with words.
no, that's absolutely fine. Francis, did you say your name?
Francis, yes.
Yes.
Francis Reagan.
Reagan. Where have I heard that name recently?
Just now. I just told you.
Sorry, I must have.
No, people do that all the time. When
Sorry, a bit
I'm
of a
like,
deja
"No."
vu moment. Don't mind me.
I don't mind. I like.
But yes, I don't really do taxes at the moment, Francis. But if and when I do, I know who to come to.
Oh, okay. Do you want another spreadsheet?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
She takes it.
Yes, I just. Oh, I've read the rest of my bio now. I don't write any financial works under my own name.
As in.
Forget about anything I've said. Give it back.
I've just coughed all over it. I don't think you want that, darling. You did that one in triplicate as well, right?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Look,
A bit of phlegm, don't mind it. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about.
oh, well, no, nothing to worry about.
No, nothing to worry about.
Can I ask? I don't wish to intrude, and I don't wish this to I have heard of you a little bit, Hyacinth, from the other ladies and your cousin.
What, from my Aunt Abigail? What does she have to say about me?
Oh, Buzz. I'm joking. No, look, she you used to live here, but you travelled and you were out, and then you came back.
Yes?
Yes. Why did you come back?
I needed somewhere to live.
Oh, it's a personal question. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Don't worry about it, Francis,
Oh,
dear.
I'm going to internalise this for ages. Look, I just want something better, and I've never travelled outside the town before. Which I don't say a lot.
New Aldston or Old Newton?
Same difference. No matter who you talk to, there's always
Somewhere Fiona's going.
So you're like, ow.
Ow, ow.
No one ever changes. But you came back, and I wondered if I could visit you sometime and just talk about what your experience is and like what it was like to travel and not be here.
You're a bit intense, aren't you, dear? Yes. Yes.
I've totally made this a farce by accident. I apologise.
I mean, it was
It was inevitable. I know.
If you wish to come over at some prearranged point.
Tomorrow.
Sure.
Oh. She looks very delighted.
Yeah, Hyacinth is, as she says the words, already
Yeah, they're all like,
regretting them.
no.
Yeah. Tomorrow at tea time, shall we say?
Tea time. Excellent. I'll be there.
Yes.
Going to
Yes.
bring in Beatrice.
Yes.
This
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Bring in Beatrice. So
You just like
describe how Beatrice comes in.
Beatrice comes in.
You definitely would have heard of this conversation
Yeah.
going on, by the way.
Okay. Yes.
Your cousin's there stockingless, don't forget.
Indeed, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Beatrice is a engrossed in the well. She's been engrossed in the book, but she's sort of coming in. Is sort of like she does overhear the last visit. Oh, who's that? Who's coming around tomorrow? What's going on?
Beatrice, this is Francis.
Francis.
Beatrice.
Chum, my name is Beatrice.
Hi, Beatrice.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, so you're not doing anything at 3 o'clock tomorrow, are you?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Why?
Well, I think Francis is coming over for tea.
Oh, wonderful. Do you want to see the bees?
How old is Beatrice?
Oh,
Sorry.
22.
Oh, I'm 17. So. Oh, yes! Sounds great.
Oh, wonderful. I'll show you all of the bees and tell you all about them and all their sort of like
great.
pollination cycles. Buzz, buzz.
Buzz.
No, buzz.
Hyacinth is already thinking in her head, where else can I be tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
I really want Mortimer in on this.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to make an entrance.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So what were you
I
thinking?
mean, flowers, bees, Mortimer. He's the
Mortimer's-
one we haven't met yet.
Mortimer's going to just a sort of tall and gangly man, kind of sort of walking, kind of leaning forward as he walks a bit. It's very like loopy, I'd say. He sort of walks in, looks around and says, "Yes, I'm here for the funeral. What a wonderful Valentine, wonderful." Yes,
The funeral's already happened.
Oh,
Hello, my name
Hello.
is Beatrice. What is your name?
Beatrice, I was Mortimer, lovely flower display. I think I'll find those are called the Bloomer nasturtius.
I didn't know that, but you will find that actually the bees are very attracted to that particular bloom. They can't stand crocuses, but they do love a bloomers.
Oh, so it was a very knowledgeable young lady.
Oh, absolutely. I read all my aunt keeps bees. And to know all about it and read all about it in the Mind of Felony.
I like maths. Yeah.
Math! We're going to be the best of friends.
And at this point,
Hyacinth picks up her drink and downs it, and actually then has an excuse to say, "Oh, it's gone," and refills it.
Get out.
excellent. So yes, we've had an introduction of other characters. I'd like to sort of round off this novel
Yep.
chapter with the business scene, if it should happen. So I'll leave it up to you. So you're getting ready, Sir Fabian, and
Yes,
stuff.
Fabian
Like,
is
so what's your plan? Are you like sat at a desk? Are you standing up? Like, what's that?
Sat at a desk, stiff upright, sitting there, the sound of a clock ticking
Ooh,
away.
yes.
In fact, no, actually, his hands behind his back, sort of looking out of the window. That's exactly how it's very stern. Very,
Beautiful.
yeah.
You were going to say something?
Oh, I would like to, as I'm passing to go get another drink, I would like to hear this conversation that's about to happen.
I think you can probably hear a snatch of it if you're walking past, or
Yeah.
unless you want to listen.
Probably, they haven't started talking yet, but at some point I would like to catch part of it, and then once I
Yes.
hear it, I will stay.
Perfect. So we'll come to that then.
Cool.
So just get that
So
outside.
I'm ready.
Are you ready with
whenever
that?
I want to hear it.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. So
Okay.
I'll hand it over to Wesley.
Enter.
Sir Fabian.
Ah, Mr. Regan. Please. Stand up by the chair.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I didn't want to have this conversation on today of all days. But it's been 3 years now, and I feel that perhaps enough time has gone past for us to be able to talk about this like men. As opposed to the, well, it took a while for the black eye to go.
There's going to be quite a shiner there.
Yes.
My hand is healed somewhat.
You know that it wasn't me. You know I lost as much as you did in that endeavour, right? You know it was a name from that deck of cards that we're going to be pulling out at some point, because clearly they need to be in the story as well. But you know it was their fault. Please, I'd need you to understand. Fabian, what can I do to help?
Wesley,
Oh, I walk past on Fabian. I need you to understand. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, what?
Perfect. So, yeah.
Wesley, This is really all you came to talk about.
This is all that matters, Fabian.
Mr. Wesley, Mr. Regan, I understand that financial markets are volatile, and yes, I understand that you have lost some not inconsequential money as well. I will therefore publicly cut you a check for the rest of the money owed to you.
Fabian, that's not what I'm after, and you know it.
What are you after? Do you not realise? You don't know at all, do you?
You are my brother, Fabian. We did everything together.
I don't think you actually realise it. You stopped me from my one true happiness.
What? Please, if I've done something to offend you, I beg of you, tell me. Let me understand. Let me make things right.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about the railway or whatever atmospheric high-speed steam thing we were trying to go in together. All I wanted was my own happiness and my own ability to have my own independence. I thought I could do that with my own money and my own person who I loved. But you couldn't give me that, could you? You had to talk to Mother. You were unaware. I know you've just met her, but I told you so much things in confidence. In confidence.
What?
No, how could you know? How could you know? But you would say that I'd fallen in love, wouldn't you?
Fabian, your mother approached me. She wanted to know more about the investment. She wanted to get in this as well. You know that she was a woman of science.
That is true. We could have done with a little bit more of her insight on this whole endeavour.
Well, who'd have known that steam trains into actual steam? I didn't know.
This is how it is going to go. This is how it will finish. We shall cut a cheque together and say that our entire bad blood is because of this financial blunder. We shall say no more of it. That is it. We were partners together, and then it is done.
If that's the way you feel it must be, then
I feel this is the way it must be.
I suppose I reserve the right to try and change your mind, of course.
You may keep that right, but the reservation has been filled.
Sir Fabian.
Wesley.
And I walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, you dash behind a local statue or a suit of armour. Looking out.
Yeah, because there's no way she was stepping away from that conversation.
Yeah.
She hears footsteps.
All right, so we're going to close off this novel chapter. Fantastic, guys. Amazing. We're now going to go to the reputation phase.
Okay.
So there is reputation criteria. And there are 6 in total there. So basically 3 for positive, 3 for negative. So you assess your actions in the last phase. And this is us as a society. This is us judging stuff.
Sure.
And stuff that happened in private is still spoken about, even though, like, for example,
Yeah.
Lydia won't know about this conversation, but there are rumours or there is stuff about it which assessing the action just so that you can get the tags and stuff. So let's go. We'll go to Lydia first. So, is there any of these reputation criteria that leap out at you that you've hit?
Okay, well, I don't think I've done any of the positive ones.
That's perfect.
So I think my positive tags are acted in the service of duty or morality in a way that compromised your desires. Acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so.
So those are the 2 general.
Are they all the same?
Yeah, so those. Sorry, I should clarify. So those
are all
are
the same ones.
So those 2, those first 2 of each ones, those are societies. So they're all general ones that we are assessed against.
Gotcha.
Your backgrounds will have a specific one, which I think is the next one.
The third one. Okay, so then the third one was sacrificed or denied your own desires to please someone of higher rank. The second one, and then is it the same with the negative ones? We have the same 2, and then
read them out though.
Okay, so the next ones are acted in contravention of society's conventions, acted on desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality, presumed to order, instruct, or make a demand of someone of a higher rank. Now, I think I potentially did do that with you because you are.
Absolutely. So that would be a negative tag.
Yeah.
So what negative tag would you add to that? Like, what do you think it would be? What do you think in that situation?
These are. One of them is dirty.
No, so you don't have to pick one of those. It's ones that we can create together. Yeah. You don't have to go. Those are just the beginning ones. So if there's anything that strikes to you that would be like a negative tag associated with that scene, that's what you would put it. And anyone can suggest. By the way.
I'm trying to think. I want.
Read out the condition again. Sorry.
Presumed to order, instruct, or make a demand of someone of a higher rank.
Maybe forthright. Perhaps
forthright, so like quite rash, maybe. Like
rash. I think.
I'm trying to find a word which, or word which basically impertinent.
Impertinent.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yay, English.
Yeah.
So Fabian, was there anything for you? Could you read out your specific ones as well?
So my positive tags are denied your desires or made a sacrifice to uphold the family name.
Oh.
questionable.
Mm.
And the last one of the negative ones. Shamed or embarrassed the family name.
I don't think you've done the negative.
I don't know if I've entirely done. I mean, but I feel like I'm moving in the direction of denying my desires to.
Yeah.
Sure, if you don't think you did it outright, that's totally fine. Well, sometimes you don't gain anything. Your reputation doesn't change, if you see what I mean. So
I think my reputation is intact.
and the same for now. Hyacinth.
So for my positive tag, that's my own.
Your criteria, sorry, the reputation criteria.
Yes, criteria, yes. I gain a positive if I made a sacrifice or denied my own desires to uphold the values of your place of origin.
Oh.
Or negative would be if I acted in a way that would shame or embarrass your place of origin. I mean, no one really said anything about me taking my stuff off and putting my feet by the fire.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you can if you'd like to. We can make that as a thing.
I reckon there should be gossip that she was basically stripping at the funeral.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, let's be honest, that's what happened.
Off her stockings. Yeah.
I mean, one of my negative tags here, it's right here for it, uncouth.
Yeah.
Uncouth.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
Go for it.
I'm happy with
it.
that.
On there. Perfect.
Is that what they do in the book?
I think. So my positive, the second, my unique positive is secured a personal invitation from someone of higher social status than yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Technically, I got that.
Yeah.
And I'd also potentially argue that I acted in the service of duty and morality in a way that compromised my desires, because I accepted what Fabian was giving to me, despite the fact that's not what I wanted.
That's true.
But I don't want to argue for two positives. I'm just.
I'm not. Yeah,
And there's also my negative, which I don't think I did, is acted in an uncouth, low class or vulgar manner, and I don't think I did that.
You didn't.
Apart from walking around, just completely drenched with the pecs thrown through the.
Did classic Colin Firth, yeah.
Classic Colin Firth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Luscious
counts.
hair.
With your luscious
With the
hair,
luscious
yeah.
hair.
Yeah, of
Dripping
course.
all over the hardwood.
God. So you can get, if you think you've done both positive and negative, you can get positive and negative tags in the same thing. I'm going to say, because I can't remember off the top of my head, you'd only get one positive tag if you're doing multiple. So that just makes sense on that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't think being wet and sultry counts as uncouth, low class or
No,
vulgar.
I don't think so.
Again, it's something that we can add. It doesn't have to be from that list.
Yeah,
That's
true.
the thing.
But as in that's my negative tag.
Yeah,
Uncouth,
I
low
don't-
class or
yeah.
vulgar manner.
I don't think you've done anything.
I don't think being
If
so
anything, that would be a positive tag, sultry.
Yeah,
sultry.
sultry, yeah.
The smolder.
Smouldering.
Oh.
I'm happy for suggestions if I have received a positive tag in a
I
similar
think you
list.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like,
Yeah, I think you have. No, I think
I
yeah,
think
absolutely. You have
fairly honourable.
Self-disciplined.
you've done the stoic thing.
Self-discipline,
and,
okay.
Yeah. You clearly didn't say what you wanted to say, but you kept it down.
All right, I'll accept self-discipline.
Fine. So if you write those down, so to update the public information sheet, we have a new positive
Wesley.
tag
Self-discipline.
for Wesley, which is self-disciplined, which is positive. And then we've got for Hyacinth, we've got uncouth in the negative, and impertinent.
Hyacinth, uncouth.
Uncouth.
Yes, and then impertinent for
Yeah, I put that.
Lydia.
Impertinent, you
Yeah,
wrote it down.
yeah.
yes, perfect. No one's got more than 3 types of the same reputation type, so no one's got 3 positives, no one's got 3 negative, so it doesn't trigger anything, so that's good, and as a result, no one goes down that. Brilliant, so we're going to move on from reputation phase to rumour and scandal.
Bum, 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 bum.
Okay.
So, this is quite an exciting bit. So,
Yeah.
as society,
Mhm.
we hear
A
gossip.
good society, one might
Well,
say.
who knows, really? It is a questionable society, perhaps.
That's not the name of the book, Fee.
Questionable
okay.
society.
Questionable society, that's the sequel.
Yeah.
So here we can create stuff for us to use in the next cycle or several cycles. The one difference I'm going to say for this, because obviously we're doing a shorter session rather than several of them, rumours don't fade out. Normally, if they're not spread, they fade out over time and eventually disappear. All the rumours we create, they're going to be around, but only once they're spread do they have a resolve token connected to it. You can see what I mean. Don't worry, I'll go into it in a second. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go around this way, and I'm going to ask you to either start or spread a rumour. We do have one already, and if you spread it, that's when it attaches a resolve token in some way. But you can easily create a rumour about anything you want as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Lydia. What rumour would you like to create? It doesn't have to be based on anything that's been spoken about at the table. It could be something outside of the Good Society as well.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Does it have to be something from your own character?
No.
Okay, it's
Nope.
something that the player is creating, not
Yes.
the character. Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, the one we have on the table is that another person got into the railway that Sir Fabian was talking about through the via Wesley, and both them and Wesley took the fall.
Can I flick through the card so I can find the
Yes,
Wesley
I'm
character?
going to
yeah.
give you, so we can make a connection with play, and I'm going to give you another thing as well.
Thank you.
And then we'll pop them back up here for that as well. So that's going on. But yes, you've had time to think of a rumour or spread.
I think
I mean,
I'll let you continue so we'll do this one.
I was thinking perhaps because obviously Hyacinth is newish in town and has now had these like connection with Wesley and reconnected with this guy, that perhaps there were people at the party that saw this and started talking about Hyacinth's marriage prospects and who maybe like in it. But if that's okay.
I'm happy
yeah.
with that.
So in the sense of like maybe are they courting or is there a marriage proposal?
As in like, oh, you know, there's two eligible single people were talking. Oh, perhaps they're going to propose to. So, but like it doesn't. It's not necessarily happening. I mean, that's remains.
No,
to be
yeah,
seen,
yeah.
but, like,
So I guess the rumours that they got seen together.
Yes, yes.
And is there something more? So there's rumours that there is something more between Hyacinth and Wesley.
Yes.
You're saying okay. So that is a rumour that you've created. So I'm going to put that on that sheet, and if Will can do the same thing, just write down Hyacinth and Wesley rumoured to be courting.
say what?
Hey, that was a really intense touch of the fingers as a hand.
Was
It really was.
I
I know.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I'm going to go to you, Will. You have the same choice. Would you like to spread a rumour that has been, or would you want to create one?
Ooh, how do you mean by spread? Do you mean something that already exists as a rumour?
So yeah, so we've got these two rumours that we've been created.
Yes.
The only difference is once it's spread, they get the result of it. So that means at any time after this phase, we can be like in a letter to like, and it was, you know, and I saw you, you are courting. The rumour
Right.
is, you know, it's
There
bringing
is-
that
there is
information
something
in.
which is-
Yes,
okay.
absolutely. And that's
Okay.
you do that with a resolve talk as well.
I will start the rumour that my family name is in debt.
Perfect. So the brave
That's
ones.
the rumour I was about. That's the rumour I was going to
Oh my god, there
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go.
that's
Well,
fine.
You
I
can
was-
spread it. You spread it.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cool.
Hang on. So the Braithwaites are secretly in debt.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Braithwaite's
Secretly in debt.
Perfect. So yeah, if you write that down, we go to Hyacinth. Would you like to create or spread a rumour?
I would like to create a rumor.
Yeah.
Someone saw Lydia spill a drink on Edwin, and someone started going, "Ooh, that was on purpose. She's trying to flirt with the new widower."
So
Someone's trying to move up in the world.
So Lydia is manipulating her way up the higher ranks.
So
She's a
good.
well-known
Lydia's seducing
hedonist. She clearly needs more money, and who has money now and no love?
Is the rumour that me and Dennis are in it together? In on it?
I think you should be just Lydia. Actually. I think
Just
that's
Lydia.
better.
Okay, okay.
So Lydia is manipulating her way up
Mhm.
society ranks. Manipulating her way up.
Is Dennis spreading this rumor?
Maybe.
Oh, right.
Dennis thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dennis knows it's not true,
Yeah,
but
but
thinks it's
it's
so
really
funny.
funny.
Brilliant. And
I was going to go for the same thing. I was going to say the Braithwaites are in financial trouble, but I'm more than happy to be spreading that rumour.
spread that rumour.
Mm.
Fantastic.
We
Excellent.
just write spreading next to it. Or do we do
No,
it?
you fill in the circle.
Oh, is this-
Ooh.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it's a rumour. And I'd like you all to meet James, by the way.
James.
James.
Boo.
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 This is James, rich in funds
Mhm.
but poor in titles.
Ooh.
His cold and mercenary personality is carefully hidden under a gentlemanly exterior.
Ooh,
James.
Classic Austen.
Does he have a surname?
He does not on here,
No, you
but
can
he
make it up.
does now. His name is going to be James Austen.
James
The
Austen.
villain of the piece.
James.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Oh, come on.
That's brilliant.
If you
And
have,
this is for you.
Stone
No,
Cold
thank
James
you.
Because
Austen.
I want to give you
James
a character that's not a younger sister to filtrate.
Hey,
hello.
there's
hello,
also an
hello,
aunt.
There's
Hello.
also
Hello.
an
So it's a different person.
Are
Hello.
you telling me that the aunt's name is the aunt's voice is lower than James's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's around bees.
I love
Yeah,
the-
you can't speak high when you're around bees. That's just science.
now that we've done those
Yeah.
rumours, we're going to go back the other way. So you get
Mhm.
to go again. It's like a snake draft. So would you like to create or spread a
Ooh,
rumour?
rumours.
I almost want to spread the Lydia rumour.
Yeah.
I'm going to spread the Lydia rumour.
Lydia and Edwin.
So again, you can imagine all these in drawing rooms and sewing circles. Like, oh, have you? Like, and every time you see people go past and like, oh, I'm having a piano recital.
Stitch and bitch.
And they're like, oh, really? With Lydia Jones, that sort of thing. Sounds good.
I don't have enough.
I know, so much pressure.
I don't know.
There's still 2 rumours that could be spread if you'd like. But there's no need. Again, you can always create something like it could be something environmental, like the pound's crashed. I don't know.
Chancellor of the leader of the Whig Party has been no.
I really want something stupid like, oh, we're gonna have an early spring.
Oh, that's a lovely one. Yeah,
I like that.
Early spring.
Yeah, I think early spring works.
I think we're going to have an early spring.
Are you telling me that Puncture 20 Phil
Uh-huh.
saw his shadow? But
Yeah.
didn't see his shadow? I can't remember which way did it go.
If he doesn't see his shadow, it'll get an early spring.
So Fabian,
I think maybe the rumour of what Miss Jones's piano classes really what happens behind those closed doors at piano classes.
oh, so you're creating a rumour
Is
then?
that okay?
Yeah,
Creating
absolutely.
a rumour about
So
the-
she's
about-
not teaching piano.
I don't think so.
That was definitely spread by Dennis. I'm going to
Okay,
say. That was-
Lydia's
It
teaching.
could be literally the kind of thing that you want spread. So
Lydia is
Sorry, not sorry about what I said. Yeah.
Just want to have some fun.
Lydia is teaching more than just piano skills to her
Yeah.
To the young ladies of
Oh.
the.
Yes. I will keep that joke inside my head. That was very rude.
Something about fingering?
Fingering, yeah.
Yeah, we go.
Practicing their fingering.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Lydia.
Lydia teaching more than piano?
Uh,
Question mark.
Yeah.
More than,
Yeah, don't use the word.
Don't use How uncouth.
And then finally, do you wish to create or do you wish to spread?
Oh my goodness, I feel like my character is being much maligned.
Create a new one. Create a new one about somebody else then.
I knew about somebody else.
Yes.
So we've got one that involves these 2 little bits, the Braithwaites as well. We've got one with Hyacinth and Wesley, and quite a bit about you, and Spring.
And spring.
I mean, maybe a suggestion would be like Sir Fabian is looking for someone, like a suitor, or to woo someone perhaps. 'Cause,
Ooh,
you know,
yeah, that is a good one
Sir
actually.
Fabian's on the market.
So-
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Yeah. So Fabian on the market.
So Fabian on the market.
Bow chicken wow wow. Write it down.
Write it down.
BOWCICA
Fantastic. So just so
I'll be
that
checking your. He's actually right.
You're
I'm
right.
gonna chicker, but I can't put wow wow what goes around.
wow.
so just so that folks know, so these rumours they'll be in play if we continue on. They'll be in the next cycle because we don't have a rumour cycle, rumour phase at the end. But the ones that have like resolve tokens that you can use are the Braithwaites are secretly in debt, and Lydia is manipulating her way up the society ranks.
Ooh.
So we come to sort of the midpoint of our game, so the midpoint of the cycle, and this is the letter writing phase, the epistolary phase, which is a word I still have said not right. We're going to take a little moment pausing this, but I want you to write 2 letters from either a major character or a connection. It could be from the same connection or whatever, to somebody else, either a major character or a connection. The other thing you can do is also use your resolve tokens to compel someone, if you want rather have that. Have a think about who you want to talk to, who you want to send letters to, and we'll take it from